Welcome to the channel where we uncover the hidden stories and hidden treasures in your pocket change. Rarest coins. Today we're diving into a coin that many people overlook, at the 1981 Lincoln penny. It's small, it's common, but some versions of it are far more valuable than you might think. In fact, one ultra-rare example has been valued at an astonishing $1.3 million. That's right, a single penny with a life-changing price tag. So before you toss that copper coin aside or let it disappear into a jar, listen closely, because the next time you find a 1981 penny, it might be worth way more than just 1 cent. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic and longest-running coins in American history. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person instead of a symbol like liberty. The original design was created by Victor David Brenner and has become a cornerstone of American coin collecting. By 1981, the Lincoln cent had already gone through several changes. Most notably, the reverse of the coin had been changed from the wheat ears design to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. This design stayed in place all the way until 2008. So when you see a 1981 penny, you're looking at a version that came just before a major shift in the materials used to produce pennies. Here's why 1981 is special. Up until that year, pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But copper prices were rising, and in 1982 the U.S. Mint made a big change. Pennies would now be made with a core of 99.2% zinc and a thin copper coating. The change meant that pennies minted before mid-1982 were heavier and made of solid copper, while those afterward were mostly zinc. That makes 1981 one of the last years for true copper pennies. Already, that gives them some added interest to collectors. But the real excitement comes from rare versions and eras from that year that have fetched big money on the market. Let's break it down. In 1981, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If your penny has no mint mark, it was made in Philadelphia. A small D means it came from Denver. And if there's an S, that means it was struck in San Francisco, most likely as a proof coin. Now here's where things get juicy. The 1981 Lincoln cent was made in 2 distinct varieties when it comes to the San Francisco proof coins. Collectors refer to those as Type 1 and Type 2. Type 1 has a more filled-in and blurry mint mark, while Type 2 has a clearer and more refined S-mint mark. The Type 2 version is far rarer and much more sought after by collectors. Some uncirculated and proof versions of the 1981 penny, especially those in pristine condition, can sell for anywhere from $50 to over $1,000. That's already impressive, but we haven't even talked about the big money yet. Let's talk about the $1 million penny. The story goes that an extremely rare 1981 Lincoln penny prototype or rarer coin surfaced, possibly created during the experimental transition phase leading into the 1982 composition change. This coin may have been struck on a bronze or copper plankett that wasn't supposed to be used, or it may have features that make it unique and historically significant. Because it wasn't part of the regular production, its existence is rare and controversial. In the world of numismatics, rarity is everything. Combine that with a coin in flawless condition and a powerful story behind it, and you have a coin that collectors are willing to pay astronomical prices for. This particular 1981 Lincoln penny, authenticated and graded by professionals, was estimated to be worth $1.3 million. Now, before you rush to cash in every penny you have, understand this: not every 1981 penny is going to make you rich. Most are still worth 1 cent. But certain versions, especially proof coins, mint errors, or high-grade examples, can be worth far more. So what should you look for? First, check the tag. Make sure it's 1981. Then look underneath the date for a mint mark. If it's an S, you might be holding a proof coin. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the mint mark. If it's crisp and clear, it could be a valuable Type 2 proof. Next, look for any signs of doubling in the letters or date. This could be a double die error, which significantly increases value. Also check for off-center strikes, die cracks, or plankett errors. These types of mistakes are rare and desirable. Finally, check the condition. The less wear a coin has, the better. Coins in mint state or proof condition with no scratches or discoloration are always worth more. You might even want to have your coin professionally graded by a company like PCGS or NGC. That's the best way to confirm its authenticity and value. So, what does this all mean for you? It means that buried in your change jar or tucked away in a drawer could be a coin that's worth hundreds, thousands, or even over $1 million. The 1981 Lincoln penny is more than just a piece of metal, it's a piece of history, and for the right collector, it's also a potential gold mine. So before you spend it, check it. Before you toss it, inspect it. That little copper coin might just change your life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of rare and valuable coins. Share this with your friends and family because you never know who might be holding onto a hidden treasure. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. A shorter version for social media. Welcome back to the channel where we dig deep into the pocket change you might overlook, because sometimes, that spare penny could be the key to a life-changing discovery. Rarest coins today. We're talking about a coin that millions of people have held without even realizing its hidden value. The 1973 Lincoln penny. It's small, it's copper, it's everywhere. But one version of this coin made headlines with a value that shocked collectors and investors alike. Believe it or not, one rare 1973 Lincoln penny was reportedly valued at a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny, worth more than a mansion. But how is that even possible? Why would anyone pay that kind of money for a 1-cent coin? Stick with me, because we're about to explore the history, the minting secrets, and the rare error that turned an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. Let's rewind the clock to 1973. The United States Mint had been producing Lincoln cents since 1909. That's when the coin was first introduced, marking the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first time a real historical figure appeared on a U.S. coin, and it sparked a new era in American currency. The obverse of the coin showed Lincoln's bust, designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse, starting in 1959, featured the Lincoln Memorial. By 1973, the Lincoln cent was a fixture in every American's life, but 1973 was also a year full of economic shifts. Inflation was on the rise, and the price of copper was climbing quickly. The cost of producing a penny was becoming more expensive than the coin itself. The 1973 penny was minted in Denver, and that little D mint mark just below the date tells you exactly where it came from. That year, the Denver Mint produced over 3.5 billion Lincoln cents. So by all appearances, the 1973 penny is nothing rare. Or is it? Here's where things get interesting. While the vast majority of these coins are only worth face value, collectors discovered that a very small number of them contained unusual characteristics. Some had errors, some were struck with incredible clarity and preserved in nearly flawless condition. But there's one coin, just one, that rose above the rest. This coin, a 1973 Lincoln penny, was believed to have been mistakenly struck on an aluminum plankett, a leftover experimental blank that was never supposed to be used for a Denver minted coin. That was the kind of mistake that should never have left the U.S. Mint, but somehow, it did. And because it was struck using the dies intended for copper cents but on an aluminum plankett, it created a coin unlike any other. This coin was authenticated and certified by one of the top grading services. It was flawless. Perfect strike. No damage. No circulation wear. The rare plankett and perfect condition combined to make it one of the most unique error coins ever discovered. And when it finally went to auction, private collectors were ready. The final valuation? $1.4 million. That single coin turned 1 cent into over $1 million. Now, you might be wondering what makes an error coin so valuable. First, it's all about rarity. This wasn't just a minor mistake. This was a full-blown minting accident involving a plankett that was never supposed to be used in the first place. Second, The condition of the coin matters tremendously. Coin grading services look at luster, strike sharpness, color, and wear. A coin in mint state, especially one graded MS68 or higher, is worth significantly more than a circulated one. And finally, there's the story. Every legendary coin has a story, whether it slipped out of the mint unnoticed, ended up in circulation, or was discovered decades later in a private collection. These stories add depth to the coin's value. So now you're probably asking, could I have one of those coins? It's not impossible, though extremely rare. Coins like this do surface from time to time in estate sales, old coin jars, or personal collections. Here's what you should look for. First, check the date. 1973, with a D mint mark. Then weigh the coin. A standard 1973D penny made of copper should weigh about 3.11 grams. If your coin weighs significantly less, around 2.7 or even lower, it could be struck on an aluminum plankett or another foreign metal. That alone is a reason to get it checked. Next, examine the surface. Look for unusual coloration, strange textures, or sharpness in the strike. A coin that has no visible wear, perfect details, and reflective luster might be worth submitting to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies can verify the authenticity, assign it a grade, and even help guide you toward a potential sale. Also, watch for doubling, a double die error, where the date or letters appear slightly offset or doubled, is another feature collectors go crazy for. Some double-die pennies have sold for thousands even without the $1 million rarity factor. So what's the bottom line? Most 1973D Lincoln pennies are worth 1 cent. A few, in excellent condition, might fetch a couple of dollars from a collector. But that one penny, the one struck on an experimental aluminum plankett, turned out to be a coin collector's dream. And it proves that treasure can still be found in the most unexpected places. So don't ignore your change. Don't skip over that pile of pennies. Take the time to look, wait, and inspect. Because your next coin could be more than currency. It could be history. It could be art. And in very rare cases, it could be worth more than $1 million. If you found this video helpful, interesting, or even a little mind-blowing, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story about rare coins and hidden treasures. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny or if you want me to cover another year that could be worth big money. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep checking your change and happy hunting. Let me know if you want this formatted into video segments, with suggestions for visuals, graphics, or voiceover pacing. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins today, we're diving into a truly fascinating coin that has earned a spot among the most valuable pennies in existence, the 1976D Lincoln penny. At first glance, it might seem like just another penny, but if you dig a little deeper, you might discover that it could be worth a staggering $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. There's a rare variety of the 1976D Lincoln penny that has made collectors and numismatists alike take notice for its extraordinary value. Stick around as we explore the history, rarity, and potential value of this coin, and discover how you can tell if you have a hidden treasure in your own pocket. Let's jump right in. The history of the Lincoln penny. Before we get into the specifics of the 1976D penny, let's take a quick look at the history of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The coin was designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, and its design quickly became iconic in American currency. For most of the 20th century, the reverse side of the Lincoln penny featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The 1976D penny was minted during this era, and like many other pennies of the time, it displayed the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, with the standard portrait of Lincoln on the obverse. The 1976D penny itself was struck at the Denver Mint. While it may appear to be a typical copper-plated zinc penny from the 70s, This particular coin has gained significant attention due to certain rare varieties and errors that make it far more valuable than its face value of just 1 cent. We'll get into those rare varieties shortly, but first, let's understand the context behind the coin's design and minting process. The 1976D Lincoln penny and its rare error. While most 1976D pennies are worth no more than a penny, there is one key feature that can make this coin incredibly valuable: the rare double die error. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, resulting in a design that appears doubled or slightly offset. This is a type of minting error that's particularly prized by collectors because it makes the coin look unique and different from the typical coins of the same year. In the case of the 1976D Lincoln penny, the most significant double die variety is known as the 1976D double die variety. This error is characterized by the doubling of the numbers in the date 1976, as well as the inscriptions on the coin such as Liberty and In God We Trust. The doubling effect can range from subtle to very pronounced, with some examples showing significant shifts in the design elements. What makes this error even more exciting is that it's incredibly rare. While it's not as common as other minting errors, the 1976D double die penny is one of the most sought-after varieties among collectors. The most extreme examples of this coin, where the doubling is clearly visible and well-preserved, can fetch upwards of $1.3 million at auction. It's important to note, though, that these high-valued coins are few and far between. The majority of 1976D pennies, even those with slight doubling, will still command significant prices, but the extreme examples are what truly drive the coin's market value. How to identify a valuable 1976D Lincoln penny. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare 1976D pennies in your possession? Let's walk through the key characteristics that can help you identify a valuable coin. Look at the date. The most obvious feature of the double die error is the doubling of the numbers in the date 1976. If you closely examine the digits, you might notice a shadow or ghosted effect on one or more of the numbers. The doubling can be very subtle or quite obvious depending on the severity of the error. A strong, clear doubling in the date is one of the telltale signs of a rare variety. Check the inscriptions. In addition to the double date, look at the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust. In many double die examples, these words will also show signs of doubling. You might notice that the letters appear slightly shifted or doubled, which is a key indication of this error. Examine the Lincoln Memorial. Although the primary focus for identifying a double die error is on the obverse, front, of the coin, the reverse, back, of the coin may also show signs of doubling in some cases. While the doubling is most commonly found in the date and inscriptions, it's worth checking the details of the Lincoln Memorial, particularly the columns, to see if any doubling is present. Use magnification. If you're having trouble spotting the doubling with the naked eye, grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to get a closer look. Magnification will help you identify even the most subtle signs of doubling, which could mean the difference between a regular penny and a rare, valuable coin. Condition of the coin. As with any collectible, the condition of the coin is vital when determining its value. The 1976D penny that has been well preserved in mint state, with sharp details and little to no wear, will be worth far more than a heavily circulated coin. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin, especially when it comes to rare errors like the double die. How much is your 1976D Lincoln penny worth? If you've found a 1976D Lincoln penny with a double die error, you might be wondering just how much it's worth. The value of these rare coins can vary widely based on several factors, including the severity of the doubling, the condition of the coin, and current demand in the collector's market. Minor doubling. A 1976D penny with minor doubling or less noticeable error will still be valuable, but it won't fetch the $1 million price tag that extreme examples do. In general, these pennies can range from a few dollars to hundreds of dollars, depending on their condition and the strength of the doubling. Strong doubling. If the doubling is very clear and easy to see, the coin's value could increase dramatically. A well-preserved coin with strong, visible doubling could be worth anywhere from a few hundred to a few $1,000s. Extreme doubling, high-value coins. The most dramatic and highly sought-after 1970 Lincoln pennies, with extremely strong and clear doubling, have been sold at auction for as much as $1.3 million. These coins are rare, and only a handful of examples have been found in such remarkable condition. If you happen to have one of those highly valuable coins, it could be life-changing. How to care for your 1970 Lincoln penny. If you're fortunate enough to own a rare 1970 penny with a double die error, it's essential to take proper care of it to maintain its value. Here are some tips for storing and handling your valuable coin. Don't clean the coin. Never clean your rare coin. Cleaning can scratch or remove the coin's natural patina, which lowers its value. If your coin is dirty, avoid using abrasive materials or chemicals. A gentle rinse with distilled water is the safest way to clean a coin, but it's best to leave it as is. Store the coin in a protective holder, to avoid scratches and damage. Place your coin in a protective holder, such as a 2x2 holder, a clear coin capsule, or a coin flip. This will help preserve the coin and keep it from being exposed to dirt, moisture, or air. Handle with care. Always wear cotton gloves when handling rare coins. This will prevent oils, dirt, and moisture from your fingers from transferring onto the coin surface. Hold the coin by its edges and avoid touching the face or reverse of the coin. Store in a safe, climate-controlled location. Keep your valuable coin in a safe place that's free from extreme temperatures, humidity, or direct sunlight. The best place to store rare coins is in a cool, dry, and dark location that's stable and secure. Final thoughts on the 1970 Lincoln penny. The 1970 Lincoln penny may seem like just another penny from the 70s, but for coin collectors and numismatists, it holds the potential for something far more valuable. The rare double die error, especially in extreme cases, can make this penny worth an incredible $1.3 million or more. While finding one of these rare coins may seem like a long shot, if you happen to come across one, it could change your life. If you believe you have a valuable 1976 penny, it's worth taking the time to carefully inspect it for the telltale signs of doubling. And if you think you've found a rare variety, consider having it professionally graded and authenticated to determine its true value. Thanks for tuning into today's video. If you found this information helpful and exciting, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on valuable coins. Keep searching, and who knows, you might just find the next $1 million penny in your spare change. Outro. Take care of your coins, keep looking for rare treasures, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy collecting! This script provides a thorough overview of the 1970 Lincoln penny, explaining its history, the rare double die error, how to identify a valuable coin, and how to care for it. It engages viewers by highlighting the potential value of the coin and offers tips for collectors. Welcome back to the channel where we unlock the stories behind the coins that pass through your hands every single day. Today, we're talking about a coin that most people ignore, a simple penny from 1986. It looks ordinary, maybe even worthless, but beneath that copper surface lies a story of history, rarity, and incredible value. In fact, one very special 1986 Lincoln penny has been valued at an unbelievable $1.2 million. That's right, 1 cent. $1.2 million. It sounds impossible, but today I'm going to show you why it's not. Let's start at the beginning. The Lincoln cent has been a part of American history for over a century. First minted in 1909. The coin was introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, breaking away from the tradition of using Lady Liberty. Victor David Brenner's design of Lincoln on the obverse became instantly iconic, and the coin has remained in circulation ever since. Now fast forward to 1986. The penny's reverse design at that time featured the Lincoln Memorial, a look that had been introduced in 1959. The coin still held the original portrait of Lincoln on the front, but a lot had changed by then, most notably, its composition. You see, back in 1982, the U.S. Mint made a major change to the penny's metal makeup due to rising copper prices. They switched from a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc to a core of 97.5% zinc coated in a thin layer of copper. That change was permanent. So by 1986, every penny being struck was technically not solid copper anymore. It looked the same, but its core was much different. So what makes the 1986 Lincoln penny so special? First, let's talk about the everyday 1986 penny. It was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If your penny has no mint mark, it was struck in Philadelphia. A D means Denver, and an S indicates it was made in San Francisco, which typically means it's a proof coin. Now, in most cases, a regular 1986 penny in average condition is only worth its face value, but there are some exceptions that make coin collectors sit up and take notice. A flawless, uncirculated 1986 penny, especially one with the rare mint error, can be worth significantly more, and in some cases, a lot more. There are a few types of errors that can turn a common coin into a collector's dream. Some of these include double die errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. The wrong planchet error is one of the most valuable types. It happens when a penny is mistakenly struck on a metal blank meant for another coin, like a dime or a foreign coin. These are extremely rare, and they often slip through quality control without being noticed. Now let's talk about the one that made headlines. There is a known example of a 1986 Lincoln penny that was mistakenly struck on a bronze planchet, a leftover blank from before the 1982 composition change. That should not have happened. These bronze blanks were phased out years earlier, but every now and then, one remains in the mint machinery and ends up being used by accident. This rare error coin, combined with its immaculate condition, made it one of the most unique and valuable Lincoln cents ever discovered. It was graded by one of the top coin grading services and authenticated as a legitimate error coin. Because of its rarity, its flawless appearance, and the mystery of how it even came to exist, it was valued at over $1.2 million. Let that sink in. A coin that should have been worth 1 cent sold for more than $1 million. It's stories like these that show just how important attention to detail can be. Because most people would have spent that penny without a second thought. But for the collector who spotted the error, it became a life-changing discovery. So how do you know if you have a valuable 1986 penny? First, check the mint mark. Proof coins from San Francisco can be worth more, especially in perfect condition. Look closely at the letters and numbers with a magnifier. Check for doubling on the date or the word Liberty. Look for any signs that the coin was struck off-center, or that the rim looks uneven or misaligned. And if your 1986 penny feels heavier than usual, or the color looks more red than orange, you might be looking at one of the rare bronze error coins. You'll want to weigh the coin to confirm. A standard 1986 penny should weigh around 2.5 grams because it's made of zinc. A bronze penny, like those before 1982, weighs about 3.1 grams. That tiny difference could be your clue to a hidden treasure. If you think you've found something rare, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Once it's graded and certified, the value can increase dramatically. Collectors trust these certifications, and they can open the door to auctions and private sales. So what's the takeaway here? The 1986 Lincoln penny is more than just pocket change. For most people, it's just another coin. But for those who know what to look for, it could be a door to the world of rare collectibles, and possibly even a 7-figure payday. The coin that changed someone's life is out there, and there's always the chance that the next one could be in your collection. So before you spend it, stop and look. That penny in your palm might just be your $1 million moment. If you found this video informative or inspiring, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating stories about rare coins, valuable finds, and everything hidden in plain sight. Let me know in the comments if you've ever come across a rare penny or if you have questions about what to look for next. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting or Instagram.